I am Dr. Binod Kumar Singh, Professor of Civil Engineering at Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College, Ghaziabad. I will be delivering e-lecture on KCE 051 Concrete Technology for third year BTech Civil Engineering students. So, first I will go to history of concrete, how it has developed, then application of concrete. So, basic material for concrete is cement, inert material and water. So, cement used to react with the water and it produces a binding material, cementitious properties it develops. So, we have two types of cement. We have two types of cement, non-hydraulic cement and second is hydraulic cement. So, non-hydraulic cement is known to Roman Greeks dates back to about 3000 BC. So, they used to take the limestone, or non-hydraulic cement is natural cement. If you take, this is a lime and gypsum, this is available in nature, and lime can be prepared with the help of limestone. So, limestone, if you take the CaCO3 limestone, you give the heat. So, it will go for calcination at the temperature of around 900 degrees centigrade, and it will make CaO plus CO2. So, CO2 gas will go away, and this is called lime. This is called slaked lime. So, if slaked lime is there, so that will react with the water. If you take CaO plus H2O, it will react and it will make CaOH whole twice, calcium hydroxide. So, calcium hydroxide, if you take this calcium hydroxide, if you take the calcium hydroxide, if you put the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, then it will make once again CaCO3. So, earlier it is known to them, but what is the disadvantage of this? This is not stable under the water, calcium hydroxide, it can't react in water. So, that is why it is called non-hydraulic cement. So, this calcium carbonate, once again calcium hydroxide, if you take the pozzolanic material SiO2, put the water, then it is going to give you the cementitious material calcium silicate hydrate, that is called chuna surkhi, lime concrete. So, this lime concrete, this is SiO2 is nothing but pozzolana, they have pozzolanic property. So, how it is, why it is called pozzolana? Because this pozzolana is nothing but volcanic ash, and it was available at a place Pozzoli in Italy. Okay. So, based on that name Pozzoli, it is called pozzolana. So, they have the cementitious properties. Once it will react with the water, that will make you very hard substance, CSH. So, this is known to the Greek people, Roman people, all they used to do with the help of this. Then got the development of hydraulic cement. So, this is the modern cement. Hydraulic cement is nothing but modern cement. and credit of development of hydraulic cement goes to Joseph Aspdin. Go to Joseph Aspdin. So, who was Joseph Aspdin? So, he was nothing but a mason. He is a mason in UK, Leeds, and he developed the cement, hydraulic cement. He took the CaCO3, calcium carbonate and clay, they make the powder and he has given the heat, most probably in kitchen stove, and he got a material, got a material and he grinded. So, grinded powder he mixed with the water, he got the hard substance, and the color of this hard substance was similar to the stone available at place Portland. So, in 21st October 1824, he patented this cement named as Portland cement. So, this credit go to development of cement to Joseph Aspdin, but truly speaking it was not the cement whatever we are getting today in modern days. So, that was entirely different. So, most probably he has not gone to the clinkering temperature, he may have gone up to around 900 degrees centigrade. It was nothing but a hydraulic lime only, but credit because he has used CaCO3, lime and clay. So, after mixing he has given the platform for developing a modern cement. So, after the invention of this hydraulic cement, there was a lots of development in concrete, because it was having very good compressive strength, and moldability property. It can be molded to any shape and size, but it lacks in tensile strength. It was having very poor tensile strength. So, it was used to places where the structure was subjected to compressive forces like domes, arch, walls, etc., where compression was the main predominant forces. So, after that in 1867 Joseph Monnier of the France, he developed reinforced cement concrete. So, credit of developing RCC go to Joseph Monnier. He was a gardener, he used to gardener and he used to prepare flower pots. So, in flower pots what he was facing the problem that in handling his flower pot used to get cracked or sometimes crumbled, and he was getting complaint from his customer also that this flower pot is getting cracked. So, finally, what he did in trial and error, he put some wire mesh inside the mold of the flower pot and he prepared the flower pot with reinforcing steel. So, when he put the reinforcing steel, what has happened? Reinforcing steel. So, he was getting a very good tensile strength and he used to handle his business has increased. So, he patented as a named reinforced cement concrete. Reinforced cement concrete. When he has concreted? In 1867. Okay. So, after the development of RCC 1867, 1867 there were lots of development in the concrete structure, design of concrete structure. Then in 1928 pre-stressed concrete were developed. Pre-stressed concrete was developed. So, it is developed by Freyssinet. It was developed by Freyssinet. It was developed by Freyssinet. So, they got good material now, which is able to take the tensile strength also, bending strength also, torsional strength also. So, now we have PCC, plain cement concrete, reinforced cement concrete and pre-stressed concrete. So, concrete we started using in different three forms. So, after the development of this RCC and pre-stress, all the modern construction contemporary structure is getting designed in concrete. So, we have sorry, a wide range of application of concrete. We started using concrete for the different purpose like construction of buildings, bridges, roads, runways, dams, hydraulic structures, precast members, etc., using plain cement concrete, reinforced cement concrete, pre-stressed concrete. Okay. So, here if you see this building here, this is a Burj Khalifa and if you see this structure, this is a Burj Khalifa, its height is approximately 829.8 meter and it has consumed a concrete of about 3.3 lakh cubic meter, Burj Khalifa. Okay. So, like this we see any it was possible to construct multi-story building with different shape and size with the help of concrete. Similarly, if you see the here I have given the example of bridge taken from the Mandoi Bridge, Goa. So, this has been constructed at the site of first Mandoi Bridge, which has been collapsed in 1986 due to silly mistakes done by the engineer during the grouting of the pre-stressed tendon. They have used a mixture which was chloride based. So, due to that within 10 years this bridge collapsed in running condition and many people has died in this accident. So, we have to be careful while designing the structure because selection of material is very important. So, a small to medium span bridge is constructed with the help of concrete as a reinforced cement concrete or pre-stressed concrete. Third example I have taken application of concrete here, Jamuna Expressway. It runs from Greater Noida to Agra. It is 165 kilometer, having 165 kilometer length. 165 kilometer length and it has been constructed in concrete. Third example I have taken IGI Indira Gandhi International New Delhi runway. So, this runway is world longest runway and it has been constructed in concrete. Fifth example I have taken Bhakra Dam in Himachal Pradesh. So, this Bhakra Dam has been constructed in 1948 and it has commissioned in 1963. So, this is the second tallest gravity dam in the world. It has consumed about 41.2 lakhs cubic meter of concrete. So, you can say this was Bhuj Dubai, which is having 829.8, which has consumed about 3.3 lakhs. So, almost 12.5 times more concrete has been consumed in Bhakra Nangal Dam. Okay. And sixth example, I have taken the Lotus Temple. This is the latest modern structure, contemporary structure. This is a RCC cell structure, RCC cell structure. So, this has also been made in concrete. So, there are numerous examples of using concrete as a construction material. So, after the water, concrete is the material which can be used or which is getting used maximum in the world. So, what is the constituents of concrete? Basic material that I have already discussed. So, you need a binding material and inert material. So, binding material is here cement and water. It will, if you mix cement and water, it will make a paste. So, this paste will bind the inert material. These two material, fine aggregate and coarse aggregate, is a inert material, and after setting it will become like a natural stone. Just here I have taken a core. So, here you can observe here, this is nothing but this part is nothing but your coarse aggregate, and here is the mortar. Here is mortar. So, in mortar what is there? This is having cement paste plus sand. So, considering this, we used to produce the concrete, but this much material, cement, fine aggregate, coarse aggregate, water, this is not sufficient. With the help of this, we can make a ordinary concrete. But suppose I want to make some very good quality of concrete, high strength concrete, high performance concrete, self compacting concrete, then we have to, apart from this cement, fine aggregate, coarse aggregate and water, we have to add some other material also. So, that is called admixture. So, we have two types of admixture, one is mineral admixture and another is chemical admixture. So, I will just show you first the first ingredients here, basic ingredients for producing the concrete. One is cement. This is a very fine powder, and if you take the 1 kilogram of cement. So, if fineness you can observe 1 kilogram of cement is having around 300 billions particles. You can see how much fine it is. So, almost their fineness is around less than 90 micrometer, most of the part, and some 8-9% may be greater than 90 micrometer. So, this is the cement. Next material is fine aggregate. So, fine aggregate you can say sand. We have two types of sand. One is natural sand. We have natural sand and crushed sand. So, natural sand we can get from the river or quarry, and a crushed sand we can get after crushing the stone. So, size of the fine aggregate ranges from 75 micrometer to 4.75 mm. So, this is the size. Then next important part is coarse aggregate. So, coarse aggregate. So, this coarse aggregate, this is also once again either you can get as a gravel from the natural source or crushed stone. So, size of the normal coarse aggregate is ranged from 4.75 mm to 80 mm, 80 mm. And another important ingredients is potable water. So, you have to use the water which is very safe for the drinking, very safe for the drinking. So, when you are using the RO water, that is good, it should be free from any type of sulfates or chloride. Hello? Okay. So, this is a potable water, because if you using the water which is having chloride or sulphate, that is going to harm our concrete and reinforcement. Okay. So, this is for saying the concrete, but if you want to produce a very good quality of concrete, in that case we have to use the mineral admixture that I have discussed. So, mineral admixtures may be fly ash, silica fume, GGBFS, ground granulated blast furnace slag, metakaolin, or burnt rice husk also you can use. So, fly ash from where we get? Fly ash we get from the thermal power station. Okay. So, this is nothing but it having properties similar to the volcanic ash. They have very good quality of silica present in that. GGBFS is also having pozzolanic property, as well as they have cementing properties also. Okay. So, these are the things, their fineness is very high, much more higher than cement. A specific surface area of cement is around 2250 centimeter square per gram, and fly ash a specific surface area is around 3000 is around 3200 centimeter square per gram to almost 1 lakh centimeter square per gram, higher than that. And silica fume fineness is much more higher. This is between 1 lakh to 20 lakh centimeter square per gram. So, like this we have to use the mineral admixture. So, apart from the mineral admixture, we have to use chemical admixture also. So, what is the purpose of providing the chemical admixtures? That is for certain purpose, because performance based design we have to do for the concrete. So, like this, suppose I want to use accelerator, decelerator, air entertaining agent, waterproofer, then we have to use those type of admixture, and generally we are using not more than 2% chemical admixtures. So, here I have given some brands of chemical admixture. So, like some of the brand, not all. So, this is a leading company Fosroc, this is an international company, and this is a most preferred admixture by the contractor like Fosroc, BASF, Sika, Pidilite, Cemex admixtures. So, like that we have numerous brand, and in suppose you take the Fosroc brand, you get more than 100 types of greater than 100 types of chemical admixtures. Okay. So, depends on your special requirement, we have to use this chemical admixtures. So, concrete is a process material, not a manufactured material you can say, because in production of concrete lots of steps are involved. So, production is requirement. So, for production we go for selection of ingredients, because we have different ingredients for making the concrete like water, cement, coarse aggregate, fine aggregate, mineral admixtures, chemical admixtures. So, their ratio have to be fixed. So, this is also a very much important which type of ingredients we have to use, and because that is come from different sources. Then you have to proportioning ingredients, what should be their percentage. Okay. Then you have to go for mixing. So, you have to mix it, either you are going to go for hand mixing, or you are going to do by mixing machine. Then we have to go for transportation. So, whether you are going to transport in mixer truck or by pumping, then you have to go for placement, then you have to go for compaction. So, there are lots of steps involved, and in this step involvement we use unskilled, semi skilled and few skilled person. So, there is a variation of strength in this concrete, around 15% variation you can get in concrete. So, that is why we have to go more partial factor safety or factor of safety for the concrete, not like steel. Steel is a manufactured material which has been manufactured in factory. So, we give less factor of safety for manufactured material. So, course content I would like to discuss. We have unit 5 units. First unit is related to cement, aggregates, quality of water for use in concrete. So, cement we have to talk about production of cement, chemical composition, cement chemistry, test on the cements, physical test, chemical test, aggregates, also different quality control measures, then quality of water, all these things we will be studying in unit 1, types of cement. Then we come to unit 2. Unit 2 we have chemical admixture like accelerators, retarders, water reducer, air entertainers, waterproofers, superplasticizer, mineral admixture, fly ash, silica fume, ground granulated, blast furnace, slag, metacolin, pozzolana. So, all these things we have to study in details. Unit test is related to quality control check, because quality control is very important. So, in that we will be studying test on fresh or green concrete and hardened concrete, and durability aspects of concrete. Concrete will be durable, then we have if we have check at each and every points. Unit number 4 is related to IS methods and SCI method of concrete mix design. So, there is different methods of design. Out of this, 2 method is very important. So, using the IS 10262 2019, we design our concrete mix. Design means we have to fix the ingredients, what should be the weight of cement per meter cube, what should be the cement, sand, admixtures. Okay. So, high strength concrete, self compacting concrete, recycled aggregates concrete we have to study in unit number 5. Unit number 5, and then we have certain references like Neville, Sethi, Gambhir, and so many books. So, Neville is known as father of concrete, and we have to refer to web resources also like www the concrete portal.com. These are very authentic web resources that you can go through, and then we have SWAM NPTEL lectures delivered by IIT professor of IIT Madras, IIT Delhi, IIT Kanpur. So, that also you can refer. So, thank you very much.